The betting scandal is rumbling on, taking over the election headlines. Cabinet Minister Alistair Jack has now admitted he made 3 election bets for the election to fall in May, June or July. He won 1, he lost 2. He says he's not being investigated by the police. A 5th Conservative politician is being investigated. This one is from the Welsh Parliament. His name is Russell George. Wow. He represents the Conservatives in the Senedd in the seat of Montgomeryshire. Now, that's the equivalent Welsh Parliament seat as the Westminster seat of the guy who was the first person to get busted here, who was Craig Williams, the Tory candidate. And he was the first Conservative candidate to be investigated. The Labour Party, though, has got a problem too, because one of their own candidates has bet on himself, Kevin Craig, who was going to fight for Labour in central Suffolk and north Ipswich, bet on himself to lose.
I mean, the question I ask, Alistair Jack puts a bet, he wins £100. How much does Alistair Jack earn as a cabinet minister?
160.
But oftentimes betting isn't necessarily about the money.
It's not. It's
just
just
about the money.
He's just being a, you know, it doesn't. I don't see there's a bit much of a problem with that. I think he's standing down anyway. But the trouble is, it's all gone into a sort of criminal zone.
Yeah, I don't know the actual... I'm going to look into the actual legalities around it, but I think there's nothing wrong per se with betting. But what it looks like here is, did maybe some of them have some sort of tip-off?
That's
like
the issue.
Insider trading?
Yeah, that's the issue. I mean, the partner of the campaign manager of the Tory party betted on the general election result. Now, that looks like insider information.
Yeah.
And that is illegal. That is illegal. And the gambling...
Let's say I say I'm going to bet that next year the graphics for this show will be red instead of blue. Let's say, OK?
Yeah.
And let's say I've got no knowledge of that, but next year they are. Of course, massive suspicion's going to fall on me if I win my bet, right? Because I'm betting in an area, and I could easily have heard. So I'm not going to ever make a bet like that. And that's why I don't understand why these MPs have done it.
Do you know what it reeks of? A lack of respect for politics entirely.
Yeah.
And this is supposed to be a position where you have huge responsibility, which impacts all of our lives, and you're kind of just seeing it as a bit of a joke.
I also think it's one law for... I mean, I'm repeating myself, one law for us, one law for them. It doesn't apply to us. You know, if... Jeremy's point's quite right. In our jobs, in our professions, if we were betting in things to do with our work, we would be suspended, we'd be disciplined.
Even if
it seems as if it's
unethical.
Just, you know,
But even if you win the bet and you've done nothing wrong, you're going to be under suspicion.
It's still unethical.
But I'm starting to think, because these people are just basically burning themselves.
They are.
And I'm starting to think, is it some sort of fantasy now, if you're in politics, to be caught in a scandal? Is it something people actually want? Does it give them some sort of excitement?
Has this ever happened before on this scale?
No.
Well, I think Boris Johnson got caught in about 8 scandals, and I think
no betting though, specifically.
No, not
We've never had anything like this, have we?
I mean, in part, this is about the only thing.
Yeah, why has it? Why now? People, this can't be the first time. People must have bet before.
I think in part it's about the only thing interesting in an election, which is dull as dishwater, with 2 leading candidates who are even duller than dishwater.
I do not agree with this. I think this is one of the most exciting elections we've ever had.
Yeah,
I mean, think about the Conservative campaign.
Now.
You know, it's extraordinary what's gone on. Labour might get a historic high, we don't know. The Lib Dems just keep falling in various ponds.
Yeah.
Deliberately.
The interesting about it is that the polls show that both the vote for Labour and Conservative is going to be the lowest since the Second World War.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. John Curtis, who I trust in everything.
Do you understand it's obvious why, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's obvious why. It's just they're both dull.
We're all fed up of both of them.
Yeah.
I think it's also maybe, you know, the fear that Labour have is that people think the election's already won and they don't bother voting for it.
They don't bother.
Yeah.